Welcome to the OmniMLS training. You are about to discover the class of pioneers. 4. How to create a CMA. Let's get started. To generate the Comparative Market Analysis report, we will press the My Matrix button and go directly to My CMA. At the bottom, we will find a button that says Start a new CMA. We select our contact. Remember that this contact must be previously loaded into the platform. We select the language to display our report and enter a brief description to identify it quickly. We press the Pages button. Remember that it is important to complete all the information found within this template. And the platform will never ask us to save the data. First of all, on the left side, you will find the available pages, and on the right side, the pages that will be included in your report will appear. We press each of the buttons that appear on the left side so that the number of pages appears. We can always delete any extra pages. For example, if we have duplicate information, we will remove the data that is not useful to us by selecting the row and pressing the red X. After you have deleted the pages, you can also change the order in which you want them to be presented. Remember that the pages that are located after activity versus time and below will all remain the same for any report you create. For example, you can move the map up using the blue arrows and place it wherever you want it to appear. Once you have completed the format you want to present, you can save it so that in this way your future operations will always present the format you want for your client. It is very important that you identify with this report and study it thoroughly before presenting it. Once this operation is completed, we will press our button to select the comparables. We can start by entering the data of the property we are going to evaluate. We are going to fill in each of the fields that appear. Next. Once you have finished entering the data, remember that you will always have a section to customize any information you feel is missing. At the top, as in my case, I selected the neighborhood. We can easily do this by simply clicking directly on the small triangle at the very end of the box, and then manually typing in the specific label title we want to display, or alternatively by choosing to link a specific data field that already exists within our comprehensive OmniMLS database system. This way, you can preset the data so that in future operations, this information will already be complete. Now you will proceed to choose a photograph from the files on your computer. It's important that the photograph you choose corresponds to the facade. This is because the system will pull facade photos of properties that are in Omni. We will use these to make comparisons in order to generate our report. We can add some informative notes based on your previous visit to the property. Moving forward, we will now proceed to carefully locate the specific property. by entering the address, the city, the state, and the postal code, if applicable in your city or country. We locate it, and the system will display a map showing the marker at the property's location, which you can move if it doesn't pinpoint the exact spot. Once we've completed this analysis, we press accept and it will appear, latitude and longitude. We review our cover page, which is already set up within your personal branding, and we only add our client's address. Now let's begin with the comparables section. Here, we will select properties with similar characteristics to the property you are going to evaluate. We add from listings and start filling in the data for our criteria. You can choose the types of properties you want to compare your property with. The type of property and the subtype of property. In this case, it's an apartment. We also start with the country within this box. It always shows us, remember, the section for selection. In this case, it's Mexico. We add it and press accept. The municipality, or go directly to the postal code. We simply click on the results button, and it immediately shows us a comprehensive list of all the available properties located in that section. We can organize them by distance by pressing the distance button, and the system will sort them from the closest to the farthest. Here you can find the number of bathrooms, the number of bedrooms, and the square meters of construction. We select the properties. Remember, it is the real estate agent's responsibility to select the comparables so that our result is accurate. We check that the number of square meters is similar to that of our property. And we press the button to add the selected ones. Once the system has registered the properties we want to select, we will view them on the map. Remember, it's always important to mark them, all of them, by pressing the button at the top. We go to the map, and within our map, we can see the property we are going to evaluate marked with a blue marker. And the different properties, according to their status, are shown with colors and a number in the center. We won't need to do anything in the settings, so we'll proceed to the price. The system has previously calculated the value of the property using a median based on the list, or an average depending on the number and price of the properties in the area. It removes the cheapest and the most expensive and gives us a central value. At this point, the system has already calculated the value, so we can add some additional notes. We move on to the next section to finish. And on the left side, we see the order of the pages, and we can send it by email. Let's review it first to make sure the data is correct. The system shows us in PDF format the pages that will make up our report. If you're not convinced by any page, you can always delete it from the Pages section. If you happen to think that any specific page is not appropriate or relevant for your final report, you can easily go back to the Pages section, select the page you want to remove on the right side, and simply click the Delete button. The red X button. You can also rearrange the order and click on Finish. After reviewing it again, you can press the button to send it by email. And you can either send it to your client or, if you prefer, you can save it to your computer and then present it physically in person when needed. The automated system will display a confirmation message once your detailed report has been successfully sent to the server by email. After you have successfully sent out the email, the screen will automatically transition to display for you a comprehensive and detailed summary of each of the comparative market analysis reports you have done. Remember that these will remain in your system for a period of 180 days, so you can review or resend them to your client at any time. When the client receives this email in your control panel under Recent Visitors, your client's name will appear on the portal so you can identify the exact moment they reviewed the email. That's it. Now you know how to create a report for a comparative market analysis. If you have any questions or need personalized assistance, you can always contact us. Thank you for being part of OmniMLs, and we'll see you in the next video.